welcome to the Scratticus Academy. What day is it? Tuesday. I'm going to PAX this week, so completely all out of whack onto what day it is and what's going on. But we are back with some Children of Roefeld, which I'm excited for, because last time we learned that moose donuts existed. Otherwise, before I hand over to Holly, please check out the links that are coming up in chat. We've got a Discord. There is a channel specifically for this game where we do talk about said moose donuts. Also, if you've missed anything, you can head over to YouTube and check out the playlist there. We couldn't do this without our wonderful sponsors in the form of Hero Forge. Please go and check them out. Their minis are amazing and amazingly detailed, and put aside a couple of hours because that's how long you will be on there minimum. Also Mage Hand Press, which you can pre-order Dark Matter now. It's basically D&D in space. It's amazing, and you can see it also played out every Monday on Mage Hand Mondays. And also, last but certainly not least, the wonderful The Deck of Many. You can go and check out their Humblewood. It's the most freaking wholesome book full of wonderful art and animals and art. I love them all. And also they're really, really awesome moving spell cards. Definitely check those out as well. So I'm going to hand over to Holly. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. I'm Holly. I'm Dungeon Master babysitter for this group of young Utes stuck in the Feywild. You can find me at Sagephilia on Twitter and here on Tuesdays. This is Valkyrie. She helps me out in everything I do. And not with us today, but part of the troupe. It's Lydia Heals, right? Lydia Heals on Facebook. She will be joining us, or not Facebook, Twitter. She'll be joining us here shortly.
Facebook is so last year.
And we will go ahead and slide over to our... Don't step on that button. We're gonna go crazy. Let's do Fable.
You're muted.
I wasn't ready. Throwing me off. No, it's okay. Hi, I'm Jordan, aka Sassy Withstander. I'm a little bit of a mess today, but that's okay. I'm playing Fable because that's why I'm here. Who has super curly hair. She's very emotionally volatile in the best way. Yeah, that's who she is. You can find me on Twitter at Sassy Withstander and other things. Just Google it, have fun. And I will actually be on Jam Game streams after this, streaming Spyro with Laura Hutton and Matt Hoadley. So see you later. And
awesome. Make sure y'all check that out because that sounds awesome. Is it the original Spyro? No?
It's the reignited.
Gotcha.
Reignited Spyro. We just finished the first game, and so now we're on the second one. And I'm excited.
I hope it's one of the cases of the second one is the best of the trilogy, right?
Well, I've only ever played the third one, so I'm hyped for the end.
The end, which will lead to the beginning of your end of experience with Spyro.
Never ending.
We're going
to infinite moose.
Yes, the infinite Spyro moose. Over to V-Sneeze. So hi.
Well, hey there. I'm John, aka V-Sneeze, on Twitter. I am playing Zephyrin the Rogue. He is very adventurous. He's a little weirded out by the Feywild, though. Currently, he's been designated the line leader, so we're from a lucky roll. So we're going to see how well this works out.
I'm sure it will work out wonderfully because I'm nice and I don't have any nefarious things planned for anybody today. It's just going to be, a straightforward romp in the Feywild with nothing strange happening like usual.
Yeah.
Convincing. Last but certainly not least, the puppeteer of Ronin. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. First of all, thank you for that advantage to Roden from, I can never say this, I'm sorry. hang on. The Ladrian's sub. That's going to be said wrong, but hi. Yes, I am Alice or White Rabbit Pick on Twitter, which is where you can find me. And I play Ronan, the small tabaxi monk that licks everything and is mildly terrified by everything in the Fae world right now, whether it's little old ladies eating their mushroom houses or strange moose meat, infinite donuts. I'm here for it, and I'm excited for it.
Right. So, speaking of infinite moose donuts, last time on Children of Roefeld, we are stuck in the Feywild, and we were wandering along trying to find some adult to give us some guidance. We ended up encountering... Did we save the puppies last session? We saved puppies. We got puppy teeth and our own little puppies, whom we named. And we ended up finding an adult named Twain who doesn't know how to feed children and is very busy patrolling the border of some kingdom that y'all don't really know anything about, but apparently has a beautiful and wonderful and exquisite, etc., queen in charge of it. He dipped pretty quickly while everyone was asleep, but left a map, and we continued on the adventure, finding the river. And that is where we can pick up. You come across the river that Twain has marked on the map, saying that the town is about half a day on the other side of it. The water seems to be swirling around rather than moving with a current, and it is this very peculiar silvery... If you've seen the one X-Men movie with Wolverine and Lady Deathstrike, where it's like that sort of material. And the grass and such dies a short ways away from the bank, as one would expect. Nothing here seems too peculiar, except for the color of the water and the movement of the water and the fact that you're in the Feywild and, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, you know the normal things. Zephyr's gonna look and see if he can find, like, a safe place to cross the river.
You were told there was no bridge. If you want to go ahead and roll me a perception investigation or a nature, I will accept any of those.
Yeah, go perception.
Okay. So you're looking at this water, at this river, and you can look in either direction and see that it seems to widen. This actually seems to be the narrow bend of the river. You can't really tell how deep it is. It doesn't seem to be rocky. You can tell that. There's nothing like jutting up. There's no branches in there. You don't see any fish or predators.
Okay.
Can Ronan is going to look around for a stick. He's going to check it thoroughly first that it is a stick, because he trusts nothing in this place anymore.
Mushrooms are people.
Yeah, like he trusts absolutely nothing right now. So to him, sticks could be people right now. So he's going to go and see if he can find a stick. And if he does, he's going to approach the water and just dip it in to see how... Oh, he's got a staff. What am I doing? I'm not looking. I pick up the stick. I put down the stick as I see the staff on my back, and I walk over to the river and stick the staff in the. Yeah.
Well, as you pick up this stick.
Oh no.
Great. It's happening again.
No.
Oh God! What?
As you pick up the stick and look at it for a moment, you notice that Winnie suddenly gets sucked into it.
Wait. The stick or the
Yes.
river?
The stick.
I think Ronan starts screaming because he's just like, Winnie, Where? Just starts screaming, looks at the others. Did the others see it or?
It was pretty obvious. One of the where you start stretching kind of Jumanji-like and get sort of swirl sucked into the stick.
Yeah, he's sort of holding this staff and he's looking over at Fable. And he's just like, well, what did I do? What, she's just gotten in there. Sort of turns to Zephyr and just help me! Screaming because he's done this.
Fable's looking at you, has watched this whole thing unfold, has a moment of confusion, and then a moment where she looks like she just got this brilliant idea. She's gonna look at you two and be like, does this mean I can be the line leader now?
What? Why are you not panicking?
Well, I mean, she's in the stick. We can't lose her.
Do we know if she's still in? Hello? He's holding it up to his ear, his big tabaxi ear that's oversized and trying to listen.
Can Fable message Winnie inside the stick?
You can attempt to message Winnie inside of the stick.
Fable is gonna say, hey Winnie, are you in the stick?
Now let me read a message. Can I respond to that? Is it
I have no idea.
Is it a walkie-talkie or is it a one-way?
Oh, it's a walkie-talkie. So they can respond with, I think it's a 30-character message back, I think. But it's only one for every cantrip I do.
Okay.
It's 20 to 30, something like that.
And what was the question?
Maybe I'm lying. Are you in the stick?
You hear a very thin yes. It sounds very strained.
Fable is gonna walk up to Ronan and be like, she's fine. Can I hold Winnie?
I don't know. It's just sort of holding the stick. Does she want you to? He's now very aware he's carrying Winnie all of a sudden.
I'm gonna message Winnie again. Hey, this is Fable, by the way. Can I hold you?
I think Zephyr is going to gently take the stick and hang on to it, maybe. And he's gonna look at the other two. Because he hasn't known you all for very long. And, Fable has done some rash things like cutting a hole in some old lady's mushroom home. I think he's going to just look at you two. I think maybe let's check the river and see if we can cross it, and we'll see if maybe the wizard can fix this. And
he's still half holding onto the stick because it's his staff. So now he's half holding onto it, and he's like, how do we cross the river? What if we cross the river and someone else goes into the stick? Is that a thing?
I thought the stick Winnie got was the stick Winnie got sucked into a random stick on the ground?
It was the stick you picked up.
Yeah, it was my staff. It was the staff off of his back.
It was where you picked it up and then you were like, oh yeah, I have a staff. But as you were about to put it back down, it's
so it is just a stick.
Yep. Just a stick.
So it's not in the stuff, it's in the stick.
Yeah, it looks to be maybe a fur.
What is happening? Ronan looks there and he's like, well, what if everyone else just goes into a stick?
Zephyr looks around for more sticks. Maybe we don't touch any more sticks.
Well, do you think there's only room for one person in one stick, or that this stick can take a multiple?
Well, if people come from one mushroom, then surely only one person can come from one stick, right?
Yeah, but how do we know the variables? Is a mushroom in a stick the same quantity or quality? What is, and he starts evaluating this.
Fable's eyes are just getting huge, and she's contemplating the meaning of life as she listens to you. I don't know.
Well, we have to make sure we remember it's this stick, because if we put this stick down and pick up another one or something by accident, we lose Winnie.
Oh, and she has a little bow in her hair, and she's gonna take her bow off and put it on the stick.
holds it
That's a
out
good
as you
idea.
adjust the bow. Okay. Very nice. Sort of look at this to try and make Winnie feel better as he holds this stick.
You look beautiful.
It's just like he looks a little bit like maybe his eyes had welled up a little bit because he's just not too sure what's happening and he thinks he's done it. And he sort of holds the stick a little bit like this, half hugging it, and is like, okay, so we need to cross the river, right?
Yeah, it looks like this is the best place to cross. It's just the swirling. I'm not. Can we? I don't know. Is there any way since Ronan's holding onto the stick? Can Zephyrin borrow the staff or use something to just kind of test the water to see if it's like rapids or if it's slow enough to cross safely?
Are there any more sticks?
I'm not touching another stick.
There are more sticks.
Zephyrin,
Pair of sticks.
Zephyrin does not want to touch any more sticks.
There are also some pine cones, some leaves.
Oh, Brayden does not trust those.
Well, I think crap. I guess Zephyrin will he'll very carefully take a pine cone and toss it into the river.
Okay, so how are you grabbing it? Are you like putting your sleeve over your hand and grabbing it? Are you like stabbing it and then like chucking it over?
I think he's not like any of that. He's just like kind of very carefully like touch it and pulls his hand back real quick, and then when nothing happens, he kind of picks it up very very like gingerly, just in between like thumb and forefinger, and then just kind of quickly throws it to the river.
You successfully pick up the pine cone, and it successfully goes into the river. It sits on the surface, and it doesn't seem to sink or to go either way. It just sort of bobs there.
Okay. Zephyr's gonna see that, and he's going to put a foot onto the water, into the water.
You feel it be. We're gonna time out because we got a wild magic surge rolled by Sphinx Roll, and this is just the best time to have a wild magic surge.
Oh, of course.
And
I'm not panicking, you are.
Rona's already paranoid. We don't need any more wild magic surges.
okay, roll me a d6, Zephyrin.
Oh no.
Zephyr's gonna become the river.
I was gonna say, can we not like?
Lows the
You
water, but
You put your foot in, and as it just barely touches the water, you see something streak from across the river as though someone has cast a spell on the other side. And you smell the overpowering aroma of lavender as a shoot of lavender just out of your head. It will stay there for one day.
Well, like a stick of lavender, like
when Fable put the mushroom on his head when he was blind, like just.
Yep.
I think Ronan's just looking at it, like he's not saying anything. Hugs his
Fable
stick a
goes-
little bit tighter. But
Well, that's
Different.
lovely.
Zephyr turns to I smell lavender. Do you guys smell lavender?
no. Like, it's just sort of thinking, don't make him panic.
As for the water itself, it feels slightly warm. It's not cold like you might expect it to be. You've been in water before in rivers. It's actually warmer than the environment around you. You can feel it kind of swirling and tugging, but not necessarily down and not really forward, just sort of in this circular motion. You think that it will not be especially easy to swim through or pass through, but it feels like it would be doable.
Okay. So he's gonna turn around and look at the others and just go, well, It might be a little tough to cross, but I don't think we're gonna get swept away. It's just kind of swirling around me. If that makes sense.
So we're going swimming.
Wading, swimming, like just across.
Okay. Fable will jump both feet in.
Okay, this is going to be difficult terrain to cross. And once you get to waist height, everybody make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy.
I carry the stick like above my head as I wade across.
La la. Oh, well, this might be terrifying.
Oh,
Nope, yep,
no.
that's terrifying. I've
Hey.
made mistakes.
We all drown. Like,
Bye, Fable!
that's it.
I regret nothing.
So something is happening to each of you. I will DM you what is happening to each of you. You are all picking up. You are all picking up 1 point of exhaustion in addition to
Yeah.
what is happening to you.
So what does exhaustion do? I've never done that before.
Okay, to recap on exhaustion,
Sorry.
1 level is disadvantage on ability checks. 2 levels is your speed is halved. 3 levels is disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. 4, your hit point maximum is halved. 5, your speed is reduced to 0. And 6, you are dead.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
No,
So we
How
have-
quaint.
Okay, so I'm going to message each of you. And if you hear a lot of rattling, don't be alarmed.
Oh my. The end of this session is going to end with everybody becoming an inanimate object. I just know it.
is this permanent?
Don't know.
I know exhaustion goes away on a rest.
It
I don't
does.
know about the rest of this.
Did anybody bring pool floaties? Because we could rest in the middle of this right now.
Huh.
I realized I wrote notes on this game and I have no idea where I put them.
Okay, so this is probably about 3 in to the river. Everybody describe what happened to your character.
Zephyrin suddenly looks like an adult. Like he is adult Zephyrin now. He looks like like maybe early 20s ish human, like for like human years, but much older for an elf.
Ronan looks to be about maybe 17, 18 years old. His voice seems to be breaking a little bit in some places. But he has got very tall, like he's very lanky, like he's had a growth spurt because he was tall for like a 7-8-year-old already. And his ears are much longer and they've sort of flopped down a little bit. They've pointed back as he's now very terrified as what's happening. He's very, very lanky. His waistcoat is sort of gone all the way up because he's outgrown it. And he almost is not fully aware of how big he is now as he sort of wobbles all over the place.
Fable has grown taller, but not only that, does she look a little bit older and a little bit wiser, and her hair's a little longer, but just as crazy. And yeah, I think that's about. She doesn't look old, but she's like, looks like, I mean, she's probably like an adult.
I just thought if Winnie comes out of that stick while we're still under the effects of this, she's gonna think she was in there forever.
It's like Jumanji. What year is it?
How long was I in the game? So you can all see each other looking this way. The lavender has grown a couple inches. Do you continue? Do you stop? What do you do?
Ronan is currently looking down at everyone, I think. Maybe not quite so much Zephyrin, but is very aware that he is now either at eye level or looking down rather than anything else.
Zephyrin would be about like 5'8", 5'9" at this at his accelerated age, I guess.
Fable would be about 5'7".
Does Zephyrin have a beard?
No, I'd say he'd have like a 5 o'clock shadow going maybe. And like it, I don't think his appearance probably wouldn't like as far as like hairstyle and everything wouldn't change too much. But he'd have a little stubble going.
I think in Ronan's head, he's currently got the Winnie stick above his head because he's like, don't get it wet, as he's carrying it across the river, and he's gone a lot taller. And I think he just stands there and looks down. So see, sort of like his voice gets a lot deeper. You see these two fat fangs that have stretched down as he wrinkles his nose and these very long whiskers. He's like, and hearing his own voice freaks out a little bit, but he's like, so we should keep crossing, right?
Agreed.
Fables.
And Zephyrin kind of starts at his voice. He's like, whoa.
Fable's concerned, but like also at the same time, like I don't know who we are anymore. I mean, people are sticks and mushrooms now. We have changing voices. We've grown. I'm at a loss.
Ronan's there like, wait, a moose donut. Like, he's looking. And I think Ronan's just like, okay, I got this. He starts pushing forward, probably a little bit happier with his stride now, actually, because he's always wanted to be bigger. Because he knows he can help more if he's bigger. But he does keep his tail like out of the water because he feels very uncomfortable with that.
Okay.
Zephyrin's gonna keep trudging across as best he can.
Fable will follow.
So we move further down the river. Everyone make me another Constitution saving throw. Remember, some of you have advantages and you will have disadvantage. No, you don't have disadvantage yet.
I could
So
literally have a
does-
nat 1 or a nat. I'm so excited to see what happens now.
Everyone who failed gets another point of exhaustion.
Oh,
So that will be
how far are we?
your speed is halved. And
So that'd be all of us that failed.
Yeah.
yes, that would be all of you. And Ronan, go ahead and make me an acrobatics to keep this stick afloat as you're now, or aloft. It'll stay. It gets a little splashed, but it's not going to be as drastic as the rest of you who are submerged. And I will give you your new numbers now that we all know what's happening. Ronan, another 8 years.
Error.
Another 45 years for Zephyrin.
Good thing he's an elf.
Yeah, okay, Jordan totally like elf years and human years are the same. Elves just are longer, right? It's not like dog and human years. That might be a stupid question, but I'm asking it.
It is. It's yeah, they're just longer.
Okay.
They take a little longer to like mature, but once they're there, it's like I feel like their middle age is longer. Their adulthood is longer.
Okay.
And Fable, you get another 40.
Okay.
Zephyrin and Fable probably their appearances probably wouldn't change not nearly as drastically with that second age.
Mm-mm.
Ronan gets taller again. Because, and I think, you know, when like finally grows into the size of his paws and has probably like better feeling of them, but he realizes how hunched he is as he slowly lets down his shoulders to relax a little bit, and his ears have got that tiny bit bigger, and now they just sort of sit back. And he's got like this little white sort of furrow around here, around his muzzle where the whiskers are. And he just feels very uncomfortable.
And since we all failed, we are going to have to take one more slowed turn in the river.
Oh no.
Okay. Right, Constitution again.
Yep.
This is fine. Oh god.
Much better.
Okay. It's not the worst.
And then, Ronan, I'm also going to need another acrobatics for the stick.
For the stick. Hang on, do I have an advantage? Because I can't drop Winnie. Okay, yeah, advantage. 19.
Okay.
I'm just getting further away from the water and height, so it's, it's fine.
So, Alice and Jordan, you pick up another level of exhaustion.
We're 3 away from death. We're just trying to cross the river.
Doing good. And
Made great choices.
unfortunately, no one quite hit the threshold to not age again. So that's another 11 years for Ronan.
Oh my Gideon.
Another 46 for Zephyrin. And 42 for Fable.
Oh my god. You literally got taller and started shrieking again.
And
mid-30s. So.
As you are now wading out of this water, it is below your waist, and you feel this aging that you've been feeling since you've been in the water kind of slow to a halt.
I think as soon as Ronan gets out the other side, he does that sort of shake all of the water off of him as he freaks out, thinking if he doesn't get it off, then it could keep aging him. So he literally drops and rolls on the grass. He's currently probably a lot broader in the shoulders, a lot leaner muscle is on him. He seems actually pretty pleased with how he's looking right now. As he sort of pauses, sees maybe a reflection in the river, and you see him put like his hands on his hips for a moment just to have a look.
Zephyrin just kind of turns, sits down. I don't like the Feywild.
What are you talking about? I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Fable's now tall. She's living it.
What we all aspire to.
You're finally that old lady in the mushroom.
We gotta find me a mushroom.
Yeah, Ronan's there just like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't mind. Like, as he's sort of like looking at how tall he is and the muscle that's like, as he's broadened out. And he's like, and Winnie's fine, I think.
Winnie's in a stick right
As
now.
you look at the stick, you see that it has been splashed a little. The bow is a little saggy on one side,
Yeah.
but it seems it's not, splintering and breaking. You have no way of knowing how Winnie is on the inside by looking at it.
Fable would like to message.
You may do so.
How old are you taller now too?
I check the stick.
You hear back, I'm in a stick.
Hello,
Well, I know that.
Thank you for the raid. And she says, I can't see. What do you mean?
Well, whatever. Fable will like.
Ronan looking at the stick and back at Fable. So I'm assuming I can't hear Winnie.
Right, it's a whisper that only the caster can hear.
Yeah. I'm just seeing Fable argue with a stick right now. Got it.
I think at this point it's kind of dawned on Zephyrin that, like, you know, he's not sure if this is permanent. He just looks at the others. He just goes, "Oh, Winnie is going to freak out when she comes out of that. If she comes out of that, when she comes out of that.
If it's good.
She's coming out
When
of the
we have to
stick.
be positive."
Sorry, that was the monster saying.
Just that,
No, it was Hercules.
She's
Sorry.
coming out of the stick, like sort of protectively moving it away. I mean, technically, she could still be line leader as he holds it out, like in front.
As you look back over the swirling river, you notice that pine cone is a little sapling now, bobbing in the middle of the river.
We
Well,
really
no.
need to find a bridge next time. That's where it sort of looks up and down. It's like we literally could have got some wood or something, thrown a rock in there. With this now adult mind, I just coming up with so many more ideas. Like,
Yeah, definitely could have done that better.
right, they said there was a village or something, didn't they?
And
You do
Zephyrin-
notice.
Oh,
Go
I was going to say Zephyrin to take the map back out and just double check it.
The map, after kind of dotted lining over the river, points in a direction that seems like there's a path. And looking around, you do see a small shack, a sign, and a path.
The shack's not a mushroom, is it?
No, it seems to be
Please, I'm not gonna
constructed.
near it.
Okay. I'm just trying to fulfill my destiny. Don't mind me.
It is
I'm gonna see what
constructed of woody wood, not mushroom wood.
I'm going to take a look at the sign and see if I can read it first of all, and if I can, what it says.
It is in Elvish, Dwarvish, Gnomish, and Common. And it says, "Town, follow path."
Well, the sign points right to the village, so this is easy for a change.
Brunon can't read, I'm assuming just by aging he hasn't gained the knowledge to read. So he's like, so we go this way, right?
Yep, we follow the path.
Oh, something's gonna go wrong. And he starts sort of wandering down the path, still holding Winnie out slightly in front. I think out of habit, more than anything. And he does hold out his now 30-something-year-old hand. He goes, are we still doing the line?
I think maybe right now, at unless this, maybe if this changes and we go back to being kids, sure, but for now, I think we're okay.
Is it weird now?
It's not
Why is
weird.
it weird?
It's not weird. It just, I mean, if we want to, we can, but
You
I just
know,
don't think we need to.
I was never a big fan of the holding hands thing, but I think Winnie would be very disappointed in us if we didn't. So
This is more my thinking.
Zephyrin shrugs and puts out his hands.
Okay, and he sort of like uses a massive paw, like grabs around, and he just starts walking.
Zephyrin's hands just engulfed. He's like, holy crap.
And you can see he's not quite used to his height yet, because he does that really weird walk where he trudges, his shoulders are a little bit hunched. You see him straightening up in here and there. And he has no control over his tail.
So whoever's behind you is just getting
Yeah, it's
busted.
just get the...
Where are we at?
So is Stick Winnie the honorary line leader then?
I guess so.
Yeah, stick when you go.
So you start walking down this path, and as you walk down, you see a number of oddities there are some birds that look more like lizards than birds that flutter out of the grass near you, near the path, away from you. There are some balls of light with wings. There are a couple just balls of light that seem to drift a little close and then get almost afraid and run away, it seems like. And you continue on like this for about 3 hours. And you start seeing a town ahead of you.
It's funny how she says oddities like that's the weirdest thing we've seen since we've been here.
Oddities. Not, what is that? Just oddities.
Well, Zephyr's, I think, in the middle of the line, so
I think
kind of...
Vernon just keeps going. He doesn't. He was told the sign pointed this way, and if he needs to get Winnie out of the stick, he needs to follow that route.
Okay.
Fable's following. She's just. It's a whole new world up here. Like, for so long, she's been stuck under, like, 5 foot, and she's very distracted. There's a lot of, bird's eye view.
You are noticing a lot of insects on the ground look much smaller now. And you can see over the tops of several bushes. Some bushes not. Some bushes are very long and slender. But most bushes you can see over the tops of. And you could probably climb most of the trees if you weren't terrified they would eat you. Some of them do have mouths.
Staying far away from those.
Fable's facial expressions are, I can climb trees. That tree has a mouth.
Some have beaks, you know. You know how trees do.
Fable's gonna, lean forward and, I guess I really don't have to tiptoe to whisper into Zephyr's ear and be like, I don't remember trees having mouths.
Neither
Do
do
you?
I. No.
Maybe they're people.
There's so much here that shouldn't be like any of this. As he looks mildly concerned, but at the same time, at the back of his head, he's like, wonder what it tastes like the mushroom thing, but...
As all of you turn to look at one of the beak trees, you see the beak open and a very large worm comes out, crawls into the leafy bits, the branches and the foliage, and comes back down with a bird in its mouth and crawls back into the beak. It's a normal
I hold Winnie a whole lot tighter.
Let's get to this village, huh?
Huge concern.
The pace quickens. The slowed, exhausted pace quickens. Despite your longer legs, you all seem to be moving at a slower pace because exhaustion. But eventually you reach this town and you see a bunch of normal looking houses in that they are wooden, simply made, kind of cabin looking houses or buildings. You don't know if they're houses or buildings. There are no signs out front. There's no directions beyond the town. You do notice that one of the buildings is slightly squat and made of stone. It is the round one.
Ronan's looking around. He's like, now, thinking like Winnie here, if I was a wizard, I would live in the round stone house. But that's just my opinion.
I'd agree with that. And he kind of looks around. He also just kind of goes, it's also the most unique house, so maybe, that seems like a good place to start to me.
Well, round is like a mushroom, so I guess we could go in that one first.
do we? And he starts to talk. And walks over and just knocks
So
on the door of this place.
You walk through the town. It's towards the end of town, and everyone roll me a perception.
I thought you were gonna say Constitution saving, and I was like, no, thank you.
I don't wanna.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
So, two of you are kind of destination feverish. Ronan, you do notice as you pass one of the first buildings, you see very crudely carved in over one of the doors, and Fable will see this too. Welcome. And Fable, you will also notice there are no people oot and about right now. Like, it is kind of getting to be the evening times, but you don't see any animals, you don't see any people, you don't see any carts or horses or anything as you're walking through, and you're able to catch glimpses into some of the buildings. They all appear to be empty. You can see what looks like a church close to the front, and in one of the buildings as you pass, you see coffins, and in another building you see beds laid out and what looks like it could be maybe a kitchen on your way to the squat hut.
Guys?
Yeah.
Can we, Fable stopped walking. She has not let go of hands, though. So, I don't know if you guys noticed, but, aren't towns supposed to have people? Where are all the adults?
I think we are the adults. Like, as he sort of looks round briefly, he's like,
But I'm not an adult. I'm just taller.
like, I'm an adult, and he looks quite like.
But shouldn't there be more?
Should. Maybe we should. I mean, maybe it's dinner time. Maybe everyone's inside eating.
Hold on. I would like to go to the building that I saw like a kitchen and beds in, and I would like to knock on the door.
As you knock on the door, you knock a couple times and it opens. And it seems to be well-kept. There is a reception desk at the front. It looks to be an inn. There is no one there.
Fable's doing this at the door. Hey, hello?
As you say hello, a figure draws itself up from seemingly out of nowhere behind the desk. It looks like a worm, kind of, but with a kind of too human face. And it has sort of that svelte kind of serpenty, you know, the shark fin scale line things, like those going down its back. I don't know if you can see those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks at you and it says, "Hello, welcome."
Okay. This is abnormal, correct? I have not seen these things, correct?
This is where you finally go. No, I'm done. It's too
Fable,
much.
Fable has not seen these things before.
Fable? She knows it's not polite. But she's both staring and giggling at the same time. Because she doesn't know what to do.
You feel Ronan tugging on your arm, not because he's trying to pull you away, but he's literally trying to lean as far away from this thing as possible. like eyes wide.
Hi, yeah, I'm just wondering, where are all the adults?
I'm an adult.
Well, I mean, but you, the first one that I've met.
This is my inn.
But there's no more in the town.
There's a wizard.
Question. Is he in the roundhouse just for?
No, it is across the street. Oh, are you asking?
Yeah, like he's asking the worm thing.
Oh, she should be, but I don't know if she's there now. It's getting to be dark out, and that's when the shopkeepers come around to steal your goodies.
Yeah, Fable stopped laughing now.
Like, take two is like, one, you can assume sort of be like, I knew it was the roundhouse, but as soon as she starts mentioning about shopkeepers coming out and sort of withdraws again, like, well, puts like a hand on his hip, trying to make himself look bigger. Puts Winnie behind his back. Good lady. What is so is it normal for there not to be people here, or do you say it's like a worm-like creature?
I drew a
people
very
such as yourself here. Like, literally best artwork.
Perfect.
Well, we accept travelers of all kinds here in town.
I bet you do. So is this something that we should maybe not be outside when this happens?
Do you have valuables?
He hides Winnie further back from this, and he does reach in and pick out that golden mushroom that he found earlier, though, and is like, I mean, I've got this.
Probably you don't want to be out then, because if they see anything that's shiny. He tried to take and it kind of turns, and there's one of its little like fins is missing, like the end bit of it. It looks like it almost had like bite taken out of it. Quite terrible.
Slowly puts the mushroom back. Like,
You're welcome to stay at the end, of course.
And we'll be safe in here?
Like Brent is fully concerned about the worm creature, not about what could be outside.
Fable's turning to Zephyrin and saying, "We need an adult."
We kind of are sort of adults right now.
I'm not an adult! Fable starts yelling.
It's like, it's okay, I am. Like, we're like straightening up again. Yes, please. We would like 3 of your 4. There sort of looks at Winnie. No, 3 of your finest beds.
Are you staying all in one room, or do you want separate?
And he sort of looks back at the others like, I think it's really important that we stay together.
Agreed. Definitely agreed.
I'm not an adult.
Yeah, so he sort of like does that thing, like puts it on like Fable's face and like puts like, shh. It's like, yes, same room, please.
All right, let me see what I have. And it kind of squelches up really thin and just absorbs into the ceiling above itself.
It's like, oh, that's uncomforting. Like, as you go up.
And after a moment, you see a drip start from the ceiling again as it stretches back down and comes down as sort of a gelatinous jiggle. I have just the thing for you. All 3 of you. Follow me, please.
Okay.
Fable, assuming that they mean the same way that they just went up, gets very confused and starts looking at the ceiling.
Do you have stairs for those of us who can't do what you just did?
Yes. And it comes from behind its little reception desk and starts going back down the hall behind it.
Is it leaving like a slime trail out of curiosity?
It is leaving a very clean trail. Like behind where it's going, all the dust off the floor is just cleaned. It's not slippery, it's just very clean.
Okay, here we go. And it starts like walking at a distance from this thing, but like does follow.
It goes up some stairs, and rather than anything you would imagine it happening as it goes upstairs, it kind of extends its face up, lands on the top step, and then scrooches its butt to meet its face.
It's like, oh, I hate it.
Question: does this worm being look like the worm being that came out of the beak that ate the bird?
It does not.
Oh, thank God.
This is its tree.
We're gonna die.
different looking worm. The one that came out of the tree beak did not have a curiously human looking face.
Okay.
As you follow up the stairs, you see several rooms up on the second floor, and you see maggot-sized versions of this thing swarm out of one of the rooms. Oh, excellent. They've just finished cleaning it. I hope it will be to your liking. And
thank you.
it continues down the hall to the room they've come out of and gives a very shrill giggle. And the door swings open. Here we go. A one room, 3 beds.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
want breakfast in the morning?
What do you provide? Like he's now checking everything.
Its face gets slightly uncomfortable close to you,
But
and
it's
it
like,
says,
"Okay."
full, elvish, breakfast! Only the things that they love!
Brilliant, thank you. I sort of look into the others like, help me.
Fable's disengaged and now has her eyes on the bed that she's gonna jump on.
Zephyr just looks at the worm person and thank you. We're very tired, so we'd like to. Well, I think we'll just go to bed. Thank you.
Of course. And tie down all your valuables if you don't want the shopkeepers to break in and get them.
Duly noted. Thank you. And like as this is happening, he's just with his scarf that he still has around, is tying Winnie probably to his arm more than anything.
And this human face looks really like focused for a moment, and then a small key pops out of its head and clatters to the floor in front of you. There you go. No peeking on the guests, of course.
Wouldn't dream of it.
And it turns and moves slightly away before dripping back down through the floor.
Is there any point in having a key if she can do that? Like, as he sort of looks to the others.
Zephyr just kind of he just shakes his head, sighs, and picks up the key. And I don't even know anymore. This place is just weird.
Everyone roll an Arcana as the key is touched.
Everybody panic.
Natural one.
Oh no.
Gosh, I have a -1 in this. Okay,
So-
6.
Fable can sort of feel something, a tingle, as the key is picked up, but you're not really sure what it could mean. Maybe it's just a chill of impending doom.
Oh, casual.
Yeah, you know.
Do
as
I
one feels.
associate it with the key or just in general?
You're definitely probably, once you've stared at this bed, kind of back to the conversation slightly, you notice it happen as soon as the key is touched.
She's trying to determine if it's worth saying or if it's worth jumping on the bed and then dealing with the issue, and the bed is winning this time. So she's gonna go jump on the bed, and as she's jumping on the bed, she's gonna say, I don't like that key. We should put that key down. Put that key down. Like, as she's like,
Is there like a table or dresser in this room?
Yeah.
Zephyrin puts the key down on that.
Do you lock the door before you do that? Or are you just...
I mean, assuming we're all inside, then yes.
Okay. The lock makes a satisfying click. The door is locked, and you put the key down, and Fable, you sort of wait for that feeling to kind of stop, and it doesn't.
she's gonna stop jumping now.
Vernon has sat himself on the end of the bed and is just lashing Winnie to his arm out of fear of this, whatever this strange worm-like creature has told him.
I want to go look at the key.
Okay.
Please. But let me see what I do, because maybe I do. No, I don't do anything. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to go look at the key. I don't know that she knows what she's looking for. So what would she roll to like investigate, like?
You can roll an investigation.
Is that, yeah, okay, LOL. Yeah, Jordan's having a silly day where she just
blame
can't
it on the
function quite
Feywild.
right. Yeah, it's the Feywild. It's all the Feywild's fault.
So as you have this Hebertus Jeebertus feeling, you look at this key. You don't probably touch it. You look at this key, and you notice it has a number on it, and it also has a small sigil on it, which is weird, not normal of a key. And as you kind of turn back, you notice the same sigil is on the floor, and you see sort of a slight sheen over the floor. With that investigation, you can kind of figure out that touching the key disables the floor from being penetrated from worms or other things.
Oh. Wait, so when I touch it, nobody can get in?
Once it's been touched by an occupant, no one can get in that way.
So why do I feel like the world is ending? She literally says that. And she's looking at the key.
Vernon ties Winnie a little bit tighter. Just, oh my god, like, what is happening?
Zephyrn's laying down in bed. He just goes, "What?"
Well, so you touched the key, and no, my mom told me this story one time about heebie-jeebies, and I got the heebie-jeebies. Do you know what heebie-jeebies are?
I know what heebie-jeebies are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you touched the key and I got all the heebie-jeebies, and then you put the key down and I still had heebie-jeebies. But then I looked at the key and like, look, she is gonna pick it up. Scandal. Please don't hurt me, DM. And she's gonna say, there's a number on it, but then look, there's this little picture thing. But then also look at the floor. There's a picture thing. And so, do I just innately know that
You can
people
piece
can't
it
get in?
together. I'm sure that you've seen wards before. There are magic users in Roefeld. And so you would know this is a ward against entry. Maybe not
And-
the specific, like, oh, who cast it? How long does it stay? Like, when was it cast? But you can be like, that's what this means.
So she'll explain that in her own little fable way. But then she's gonna, like, still very confused, be like, but I still have the heebie-jeebies.
I mean, I kind of had them since we arrived in this tavern, so.
I mean, this place has just been one weird thing after another. I mean, as long as this thing does what you say it does, at least, I mean, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. And Fable is gonna take it and put the key. What is she wearing? She's wearing, yes, she has pockets in her skirts, because why would there not be pockets in her skirts? And she's gonna put the key in her pocket safely. And then she's gonna go sit on the bed. Very serious thinking.
You are each able to have a bed and think seriously. And this room seems super clean. There is a little table for each of you next to each of the beds with a couple drawers. They don't have anything in them. They're also very, very clean. There is a washroom as well. And it seems basic furnished, but not classy. Just sort of all the comforts for a traveler.
Are there any windows in this place?
There is a window.
I think Ronan might go and look out. And he sort of just peers out. And it's so, what do you think those things are that she spoke about? You know, the things that we should be worried about.
Oh, I mean, do you think they're like the worm person?
I don't think there's anyone like the worm person. As he sort of again goes back, casts his eyes back out, almost like longingly into the distance.
To the time before the worm
Yeah,
person.
before the worm and the moose don't when the world was fine. He's almost like, as he's aged, he's gained, like, he's lost the confidence in the I can do anything. Like, I'm gonna go lick that mushroom, I'm gonna go and do that. You can see that it is like disappeared slightly. He looks concerned.
You don't see anything that seems nefarious outside. The stars are starting to come out as the sun is setting. That beautiful array of rainbow stars. And you see a flash come from across the street in the squat hut. And the windows that the squat hut has disappear into stone, and the door disappears as well as this flash goes off.
That's definitely the wizard's house. We need to take Winnie there first thing tomorrow.
Definitely. First thing, I think we need some rest, though. We're not doing her any good, after that river.
No, but does one of us want to take watch?
I mean, that key kind of put a warding. I mean, if I understood Fable, properly. It seems like we're protected.
You can tell that Ronan looks like visibly nervous, if you see what I mean. Like he doesn't look very trusting of the key or the worm.
Fable at this point has taken. Is this like a bougie inn where there are more than one pillow on the bed, or is there just one pillow on the bed?
There are 2 pillows on each bed.
Okay, I'm gonna take one of my pillows. I've officially made a bed by our beds for Stick Winnie. For Stick Winnie to stay in, and Fable will, who is currently in Autumn, she'll like kind of perk up and be like, I mean, I'll watch for a little bit.
That Ronan's reluctantly undoing Stick Winnie from his arm, and he's just and does that whole sort of like lays her down, puts the little cover over his stick, and it's just like, it's okay, we're gonna take you to the wizard. And he's literally just like consoling this stick. You can see he's visibly distressed.
So are we doing watches tonight?
There are creepy evil things outside, and I have an impending sense of doom, DM.
And there's a weird worm downstairs.
To be fair, there are many small weird worms also.
Yeah, but this one's laughing. This one is laughing awkwardly.
Well, to be fair, I mean, elves like don't necessarily need sleep. They have that like the meditate for 4 hours thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, Fable and like, you know, Zephyr would just say, you know, well, I mean, Fable, we can take shifts. You know, one of
Okay.
us stays up for a few hours than the other.
Sounds good to me. And Fable's gonna sit herself on the edge of her bed, facing the door. Well, no, she's gonna go to the far end of the room. She's gonna sit on the floor, preferably in a corner where she can see both the door, the floor, and the window.
Okay.
And she's just gonna watch.
Ronan starts off watching because he can't sleep, and he does that thing, you know, a cat's like lay down as flat as they can on the bed, like have their ears back, and is like watching, but slowly sort of does that roll over onto his back, sort of sleep, but without realizing, because he's like 3 levels of exhaustion. He is tired.
So, Fable, you are also at 3 levels of exhaustion. So you're going to have disadvantage on this next throw or next check I make you roll, which is going to be a
Love it.
perception check for your watch.
Oh, I love this. This is the best idea I've ever had. That's a 7.
Okay. Okay. So you're watching the door, floor, window, door, floor, window. Why can't you have chameleon eyes? And nothing out of the ordinary seems to happen. You don't notice anything. The night seems to be quiet. Your compatriots sleep soundly or meditate soundly, and your 4 hours pass.
Fable's not gonna bug Zephyrin until Zephyrin gets up of Zephyrин's own accord. Because she will watch until he feels fully rested.
I mean, Zephyr would get up at, you know, after his 4 hours.
I feel like being on a ship, you sort of learn the time, you know? So, Zephyrin, how are you keeping watch?
I probably take up same position, do the same thing.
Okay. You have
And the-
2. You
well,
had
the-
2. You are down to 1 level of exhaustion. So you do not have disadvantage on this check. Roll me a perception.
Okay.
Okay. The night passes, seemingly without incident.
Seemingly.
Seemingly without incident. And You see the sun begin to rise. It's a bit cloudy outside, but otherwise seems to be a good day as it peaks up. Da, 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 da. Neither of you have seen any sign of King, Queen, Big Worm, or the Wormlings, or the mystical threat of the night.
I think Ronan does that. He sort of reaches out, stretches. I think his legs are hanging off the end of the bed. As he sort of rolls up and falls onto all fours, stretches his back out before standing up again. He's like, Did anything happen? Is Winnie still like goes there to check if Winnie is still under the blanket?
Roll me a perception.
Oh God!
Oh
don't
no!
like this.
Does she become the pillow now?
Oh God! I have a
Winnie-
What are our rolls tonight?
The stick is still there. Still tucked in that little pillow.
sort of checking it. Picks
Bow's
Winnie
still
up.
on.
Picks Winnie up. Starts tying her to his arm again.
Zephyrin gets up and stretches. Seem quiet?
I'm oddly concerned about breakfast.
Oddly, I mean, we haven't had a normal meal yet here. So,
But food is good. But you know, Mom always says like you have to try a little bit of everything. So we should try it, and then if we don't like it, then we just say no, thank you.
I guess it couldn't hurt to see at least what they're serving.
Do you think Winnie needs food?
Don't know how we would get food into the stick.
I know, but
Shish
well,
kebab.
Well, no, because then that's just putting the food around Winnie.
Fable now is like, oh yeah, that's right.
We could see if they have jerky.
Tree jerky.
Maybe not tree jerky, but
What do trees eat?
Well, apparently worms and stuff.
and birds.
Do we how do we get out? Like, do we knock? Do we unlock the door with the key? What?
Well, Fable has the key, so
I don't want the wonderful innkeeper to just pop up.
I don't think she can while we're renting the room.
Well, let me gather myself first, at least. And he does climb onto the bed.
Are any of you washing up in the washroom this morning? Said with a loaded question.
I think Zephyrin would maybe wash his face.
There is no one here to tell Fable she has to take a bath, so she's totally gonna forget about it.
Ronan is still not feeling great around water, and he's still covered in just dirt from trying to roll it all off. But he doesn't think at all.
So in the washroom, Zephyrin, you see a bucket, and there's a pipe that sort of leads into the bucket. Very crude indoor plumbing. And how do you turn it on? How do you use this?
That's a good question. Is there an obvious thing that Zephyrin would know would turn on the water?
You could try moving it down. You could try just putting your hands under it or hitting it.
He'll try those things in that order.
As you bump it down, nothing seems to happen, and you put your hands underneath, and some of the tiny maggots come out and get on your hands very quickly. And I'm sure you do not like this.
Yeah, he's like going like these. Ugh.
And make me a dexterity saving throw. Okay.
Hey.
So you pretty quickly just like off into the bucket, but where they have been on you is very clean now and feels very spry and tingly in a good way.
He doesn't care. That's weird, and he just leaves the washroom, closes the door, and just don't use the washroom.
Why? What's wrong with the washroom? It's like as Ronan's like now like on all fours on those beds.
You know those like little worm thing, like the small worm things that came out of the room when we came up here?
Yeah.
They use that to clean. My hands are clean, but I feel weird.
Are you sick?
Maybe? I don't know. Things are really weird here. I don't know what's happening anymore. Maybe we should talk to the wizard now? Or, get some food and then talk to the wizard?
Snacks and then sneaks to the wizard. And Fable's gonna take the key out of her pocket and unlock the door and go and find breakfast. But she will pause in the hallway and turn around to see if they're coming at the same speed/enthusiasm level as she is, because she's hungry.
I don't know about enthusiasm, but speed, Zephyrin would be.
Ronan does that thing. He's got like Winnie tied to his arm. Does that cautious thing of when we put paws down on to check the floor is still there, and then it's a really mad dash out of the room.
Is down, left is right.
You are able to exit the room and go downstairs, and no one is at the front desk. But as you look past it, you see this nearly breakfast banquet laid out that Zephyrin you will recognize as being a lot of cuisine from your hometown. And with that, we are going to take a short break. Everybody stretch, get a drink of water, eat some food, pet your worms, hug your tree beaks, and we will be back in about 5-ish minutes.
Minute.
Oh, hi. Welcome back to our regularly scheduled Wormgram. Where we left off, we had just avoided a very maggoty hand-washing experience, and we are now on to breakfast! As I said right before the break, the food that is laid out in front of you looks very much like food that would have come from Zephyr's hometown. So Zephyr, what kind of food? I know you come from a port town. What kind of food are we looking at?
I mean, Port Town, I'm assuming plenty of fish. Like veggies. Although breakfast-wise, I'm sure like they'd have like eggs and sausage. Kind of like standard breakfast fare. But
Fish sausage.
I'm not much of a fish person myself, so I don't know how much I would like that. But
Elvish fish sausage. That is not what actually you see in front of you. It's edible. There are some fish. There are some curiously unmousse-like donuts, some pastries, and it's lighter things, but definitely meal food that is enough to sustain you. You all in your larger bodies, very hungry. You do not see your host.
Zephyr's stomach is probably doing that. Oh.
I'd say that sort of that rumbling sound, and Ronan is actually looking rather like, oh no, this looks good, but so much distrust as to what this could really be. Like, does this smell good, or is this literally just like...
It smells like it seems like it should. So if you're somebody who really doesn't like fish, eggs, breakfast, no, it doesn't smell good, but it smells like eggs, fish, breakfast,
He can't help but like, he can't help but like purr a little bit as he smells like the fish and sees like these donut type things, but he's like,
Imagine his purr has become a deep rumble in his current state.
Yeah, he just sort of stays very quiet. He lingers near the table but doesn't quite touch them yet.
Fable's gonna dive in. She's gonna grab a plate and start putting it on there. Because, listen, the lady, was it a lady?
It's a
Two
worm.
worms identifying
A
as
lady
a certain
worm.
gender.
A gentle worm.
It's worm.
They said, the worm seems a little disrespectful, but I go for it. So, the worm said that there would be breakfast in the morning and didn't specify any particular rules to follow. So, like, in Fable's head, like, her standard for right and wrong on this trip, although it does have to do with her morals, most social right and wrong situations are there rules, and would Winnie follow the rules, which is always yes. And if there are no rules presented, then Fable's like, then obviously there are no rules. So she will start getting a plate and then notice that nobody else is doing it and just like watch them as she loads up her plate with like pastries.
You can see Ronan is sort of looking awkward, and it's purely because Rosie has taught him never to help himself to things. It's not actually because of anything else. He's like, do we just take it, or do we wait for the tavern innkeeper?
Zephyr looks around, sees that nobody. I'm assuming there's no indication that anyone is coming at any point in time, so he's going to like pick up like a small piece of sausage or whatever is there and just and take a bite to kind of like test it at first.
Tastes like sausage.
He is going to grab a plate and load up.
There are also pitchers, chilled pitchers that have orange juice and milk and water at the end of the breakfast bar.
There's like that clenched teeth moment as Ronan's like, oh god, as he sort of hurries over there anyway and just like takes
it
a
tastes
small
like normal
glass of
sausage,
milk.
Ronan. I think we're okay.
He sort of picks up a small glass of milk and does that like the with his tongue to taste it, and then very quickly starts piling things onto a plate.
You will make your plates and I assume sit or potentially stand. It's sort of cafeteria style where there's long tables and benches, and start to dig in. And everything tastes good. Everything tastes normal. It tastes what it looks like. The donuts don't taste like kiwi. The fish doesn't taste like wood. Everything is normal.
I mean, as long as the donuts aren't made of meat, kiwi would actually be kind of normalish.
Meat kiwi. Thank you for that donation, Sphinx.
Thank you.
And you tuck in, and you don't notice any ill effects as you're eating. And after a bit, the innkeeper squiddles up through the floor. Good morning. How did you sleep? Good.
Like you just see like this donut drop from Ronan's mouth as this worm comes up again. Like, good morning. This is delightful. Thank you. And does like his best smile, which the other two probably know. It's just such an awkward fake smile. He's like, oh god, like his cheeks like puff all the way up. You see crumbs around like milk around his chin. He's like, looks a little bit sad, but yeah.
We slept well and the food's delicious. Thank you.
And you?
Uh-huh. And her mouth is full, like...
Like whenever a waiter comes to check on everything, there's, you know...
The wormer comes to check on everything. That's right. Good. I'm very happy to hear that. No break-ins, I assume.
Don't believe so. All of our valuables or all of our possessions seem to be spoken for.
Good. Enjoy breakfast.
Can Fable roll an insight?
Yes, Fable may roll an insight.
She's, you know, like, it takes me a while to decide that I'm not really sure about someone. Oh, did it work? Okay, stop doing things, computer. Oh, oops, the first one was the one. The one that I failed, I think. Yeah, the one that I failed, because I rolled a nat 1. That's the one. I didn't realize it rolled twice.
Maybe this is a person trapped in the worm's body. Just like...
Is anything real here that isn't trapped in a body of something else?
Fable is very concerned as she, like, finishes chewing. Did I see where the worm went?
The worm is turning away, and with our donation we just got, we all get to roll on the wild magic table. Is that accurate?
I believe so.
Everyone roll me a D100.
Oh my goodness.
I never have a good track record with these. I always really screw myself over. 24.
Okay.
36.
Okay. The 24. You can speak to animals for 24 hours.
Yes!
With a 36, you spontaneously grow antlers.
Oh, yeah!
Dealer's choice, are they goat, are they moose, or are they deer?
Oh my goodness, there's so many options.
One of each.
Deer. Okay, you get deer antlers. And the 77. All right, roll me.
Oh god.
And
oh no.
What would that be? Let me check and see what the saving throw is for this.
Oh no.
That never sounds like a good thing.
Saving throw is never a good phrase.
Wisdom. Roll me a wisdom saving throw. Remember, you
Oh
do have
my.
advantages.
Raggy.
I have advantage?
You have advantages if you'd like to use.
Oh, you know what?
Okay. So with a 7, you are turned into a sheep.
I can talk to you.
And do I still have the sprig of lavender coming off my head? I just remembered I still have that.
Yeah, you have it until about midday today. It'll wear off.
Can I talk to him?
The
Yes.
lavender or the sheep?
The lavender will wear off about midday. The sheep, you don't know.
Ronan looks mildly excited. He's just like, oh, and like walks over and like squats down. He's like, Zephyrin, is that you? Do I understand?
You understand whatever Zephyrin is saying because you can speak to animals.
I'm like
I think that
freaking
would-
Dr. Doolittle. I'm so excited.
To her, that would to Ronan, that would roughly translate to, "Why am I so short? What's going on?"
Just got used to being tall.
It's like,
What was that sound that just came out of my mouth?
You're adorable. It's fine.
I don't want to be adorable.
Why?
Fable shook at the table. She's not worried about the worm who might actually be a person anymore because now there's a person who's actually a sheep and a person who's a stick and now there's a person who's a worm and people are mushrooms and I don't know what to do anymore and I just want to go home. All of those words just came out of her mouth too.
Ronan is squatted down in front of Zephyr and is like, how do you feel?
I feel fuzzy.
I'm
don't like this.
I'm sure it'll wear off. You'll be fine. But he looks really happy. And he's sort of like the little floof bit on top of your head. He's like, can I just? Oh, he uses things that are soft. He can't like resist. So he's got Winnie strapped to one arm whilst he sort of like floofs the top of like your head. Can't help it. You hear him purr a little bit.
If sheep are capable of growling, Zephyrin is growling whatever a sheep growl might sound like.
Zephyrin bleats aggressively.
He's like, sorry, should have asked.
We need to talk to this wizard.
What this group looks like right now is ridiculous. It's like a freaking Wizard of Oz.
Like a sheep with a sprig of lavender. Are you still Autumn, Fable?
Okay. So here's the problem. Autumn is not really a good season to be terrified in. So I think I'm gonna say that she's in, I don't even know. I don't think she knows what season she's in anymore. I think everything's just super confused right now. So I don't think she's actually in a season. I think that she's got a little bit of everything. Except for like I won't do the magic stuff since she doesn't know who she is anymore right now. And she's going to disassociate from the situation and just begin to put pastries on her antlers for later.
They are very well made to do some. Some are jelly filled. I don't know if you want to put those on your antlers, but most of them definitely have the donut shape.
Why not? You know, like painting the roses red. I don't care. Painting the antlers jelly. I don't care.
Ronan is taking a plate down to Zephyrin and he's like offering certain things to see if he wants any of them.
I don't know. Would any of that appeal to Zephyrin in a sheep form?
I mean, you're still yourself. You can't cut it up like any fish or anything, but whatever Zephyrin would like, I'm sure you
Like,
would
Ronan, do you want me to cut it up for you? Like
No.
breaking bits off of these donuts, just trying
I
to
think-
feed Zephyrin.
I think Ronan asks that and looks at him, and he's just on like a piece. He's got a piece of sausage in his mouth.
He's like, I've always wanted a sheep. Like
not
he's
a
very
pet.
wide-eyed, looking at
I'm
you.
not a
like,
pet.
No, but like a, just wanted to know one.
Can we go see? I want wizard. Look now. Fable is trying to English.
Okay. We should go and see the wizard. He looks a little bit disappointed. This never might not be a sheep anymore. And he's like, I know we can't hold hands, but we should try.
Fable just like starts like hyperventilating.
He's like, it's okay. And he sort of like holds onto like Fable's hand, and then offers his tail to Zephyrin. Don't bite too hard.
I was like, someone's tail is getting something bad done to it. And just
You chew, and we're gonna fall out. Like,
Zephyrin considers it, but he just trots alongside the two of you.
I would
Very-
not like this at
In a-
all.
In as surly a manner as a sheep can manage.
small tail just twitching irritably.
Yeah, just. The best thing is I want to see a sheep walk downstairs.
Fable is now gonna like Winnie said that if we stayed on the path, nothing bad would happen, and we're not off a path. We're on a path. There's floor and there's a path, and it's a place we're supposed to be, and we found an adult, even though it's trapped in a worm's body. And I don't. Do you think Winnie's gonna be mad?
It sort of looks down at the stick. It's like, I don't know, I can't talk to sticks, I talk to animals.
I can talk to sticks.
You talk to the stick.
She's not gonna ask if Winnie's mad. She's just gonna say, hey Winnie, don't be mad.
You hear nothing back.
Oh no, silent treatment.
Zephyrin is muttering curses, which Ronan can hear and probably would not want to repeat. All Fable hears is just the most angry.
Fable is officially gonna go into winter because she thinks that Winnie's mad at her.
Winnie's just
This is
left.
the worst
Winnie's so done.
trip
She's just left.
ever.
He's like, okay, well, we'll go to the wizard, and I'm sure the wonderful things she does will sort out like what's happened.
The wizard's probably just gonna turn us into mushrooms.
Well, would you prefer mushroom or sheep? I mean, I prefer sheep.
I
Or
just
stick. Stick is on the table
Or
too.
stick.
Or worm. You know, it's a whole world of
Not a
possibilities.
worm. I don't want to be a worm.
I don't really know what I want to be, but no matter what it is, it's not who I am. So
Your image doesn't define you. Like, as Ronan just nods. And then just gives a look to Zephyrin.
Fable just sighs a lot.
I'd like to head out of the tavern towards the wizard with this strange, bizarre troop, please.
as would Sheeprin.
Okay, so Sheeprin and Fable, roll me dexterity saving throws, please.
Because I have antlers.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm a sheep, so you know what? Actually,
So, Ronan, you go forth with this strange troop, and at the doorway, in your new sheepish body, Zephyrin, you just get all tangled up and sort of roll out. Your fur gets kind of dusty. You know, your horn is kind of stuck. No, sheep don't have horns. Your hoof is kind of stuck in the dirt a little sideways, and Ronan, you can look back, and Fable is just struggling to get these antlers through the doorway and just knocking repeatedly.
This is the worst day ever.
think Zephyr is trying to yell turn sideways, but she just hears meh.
Also, I'm officially in summer now because I can't get through the freaking door. I'm angry.
Ronan is just happy to be here.
So, after a few tries, Fable is able to go through kind of into this motion where the antlers are sort of door up and down. Vertical, that's the one.
Ronan's like trying to help, like, nope, down, twist, like trying to fight them out the door.
And Zephyrin, you can stand up and kind of shake the dust off the wool. And across the way in the squat hut, you see a burst of light as windows and a door reappear on this stone structure.
Zephyr's running up to the building.
Like, he's like, wait! Like, Ronan runs off to Zephyr.
So you canter up to the
I'm trotting.
Oh my gosh.
I think Ronan races off to Zephyrin with a mild fear that he's gonna not be a sheep anymore, but also he wants his friend to be happy again.
sheep or happiness.
Yeah, they are.
Do you knock at the door? Do you just burst in? Do you stamp at it with your hooves? Do you bleat loudly?
I think Zephyrin would turn around and consider like mule kicking the door, but he takes a deep little sheep breath and waits for the others to catch up to give the door a knock and because he realizes that if he's rude to this wizard, he may end up in a worse state.
Next up, I imagine, is Ronan hurrying after.
Yeah, he's like, no! like, again, still not quite used to his size, so it's like its arms and legs are all over the place.
Wacky inflatable cat flailing too.
Yeah.
So you reach the door, and then Fable.
Oh, Fable's going in. There's no knocking. I have antlers. I can't get through doorways anymore. Like, it's over. Like, I'm done
Can
with
you
this.
get in?
Take your...
Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Sorry, my bad.
It's so good, though. I'm loving to hate... Oh.
You open the door and do the same maneuver in.
Take your magic back. I don't want it. Fable says, I need an adult and I need one now.
Bruno's just round the door. Like...
A very startled woman looks up. She is a Ladrin, but she looks to be about mid-20ish, if you were to put it in human years. And she has lots of stuff. There's magical apparatuses, and a bunch of potions and scrolls. There are a couple pens that are just writing on or quills that are writing on their own. And everything seems really, aside from her, not Fae in here. There's no ridiculously big things or things with beaks. None of the shelves seem edible. And she looks up with a start and immediately turns a very neutral color. Hello. Good morning. This is not my magic. Welcome.
Zephyrin sheepishly walks in. I had to.
Clever.
She looks bemused and very curious as she looks at the three of you.
Which I don't know if we discussed in chat that he is a sheep. He's got like the sprig of lavender, and he's the only feature he's retained from Zephyr is he's wearing the jacket.
Stop. Are you an adult?
Yes.
Fix it! And she points to all the things wrong in this room that have to do with them four.
Aren't you all adults?
I think that yeah, as Ronan sort of like leans, sort of not steps into the house, but he's still just like, may I come in? Like, even though the other two are already in there.
She waves you in and gets some books off of a shelf and opens one up in front of her that is very thick and flips to a couple pages where there's a blank page. You'd think that, you say?
Well, what happened was we went out in the woods. We had to, collect some mushrooms, and then shouldn't have strayed from the path. We strayed from the path, and then we found these mushrooms, and then he starts just retailing all of it until he's like, and now my friend's a stick, and we don't know what to do because she was the one who knew what was going on, and this is my friend who's a sheep. I kind of like him as a sheep, but I don't think he wants to be a sheep anymore. And Fable really, really doesn't like these antler things. I kind of like being this tall.
Right. Well, your names were
Ronan.
Ronan, okay. The sheep?
Oh, that's Zephyr.
Okay.
Oh, this is Winnie. And he gestures to the stick that's tied around his arm.
That's a stick.
No, it's Winnie.
That's a stick.
It's Winnie. And puts as if he's shielding her from the insult.
Zephyr tries to say that she's in the stick and just meh.
Yeah, she's in the stick.
I think that's just a stick. Unless it's some imaginary friend scenario thing.
Wait. You're magic, right? Is she not in the stick? Can you test it? Is there a test? And he starts unwrapping and very carefully hands Winnie over this stick.
Fable is starting to turn into winter again.
Zephyr has very concerned sheep face.
Yeah.
Hello,
thank you, Raiders!
Hey.
She hefts the stick a little bit and gently bounces it up where it levitates. And she casts a quick spell, and Fable, you can tell that it's the same spell that you've been using to talk to Winnie. And she says, Winnie? Was it?
Fable's nodding emphatically.
One moment. And the stick remains floating and kind of trails her as she goes to the door. And she does the same spell, but it seems to be much larger. And she says, Winnie, was it? This isn't Winnie.
Well, who is it? As Ronan suddenly looks concerned.
This is a stick.
Whoa, wait, no, we can't have lost Winnie. Winnie's fine. And he sort of snatches the stick out of the air, and he's like, you don't understand. Winnie went into the stick.
Not that stick.
What?
Well, there is a Winnie somewhere, but it's not that stick.
You telling me Winnie's not in this stick?
Is the bow still on the stick?
The bow is on the stick.
The things swapped it out.
But
Yeah,
what he said.
But I put the bow on Winnie. I talked to Winnie in the stick with the bow, and the bow's on that stick, so Winnie has to be in that stick. That's the Winnie stick.
Maybe there are two bows.
You just can't have stick transferal without notifying anyone. This is our friend. This should be our friend.
We lost Winnie.
can make anything your friend, I guess.
But Winnie wouldn't have lost one of us.
Fable's now gonna sit down on the ground.
Even like Roden like slumps his shoulder and hangs his head. His ears go right down. He's like, "Well, I need to go find the right stick."
I could tell you where it is, but this is the Fae. We do sort of an exchange of services. In order to get something from me, you got to do something for me. You know.
He sort of reaches in and pulls out that golden mushroom and is just like holding it up. He's like, I just really need to know where my friend is.
I don't want that.
But it's a great mushroom. Winnie said so.
It looks amazing. I just need to finish this log entry. Winnie is a stick. And young antler woman. Your name?
I'm a girl. And my name is Fable.
Fable. Got it.
Why are you writing it down?
Well, I'm to take you back, aren't I?
Huh?
Right, the material plane. Where are you from?
Wait, where am I from? I'm Roefeld! Roefeld! That was a Jordan problem, not a Fable problem.
Roefeld. That is very near to where my family was originally from. And, ages?
Like what we should be or what we are.
What you should be.
I'm 9.
8.
8. I'm 8. How old am I? Fable goes.
Zephyrin looks at Ronan and says, I'm 12.
He's 12.
And can you ask her to turn me back into human, please? Or elf? My normal form, please?
He's 12.
Okay, got it. Alright, so we have 3 and a stick going to Roefeld, unless you find your friend, and de-aging. Scribe looks at each of you a lot, and taking magic away from you, points to Fable, and as she points to you, your antlers start to shrink a little bit. They're not all the way gone, but they're getting to a more manageable size.
Better. Thank you.
And, you want anything done about that lavender on your pet Zephyrin, was it?
Ronan looks a little bit like ashamed. He's like, he doesn't want to be a sheep anymore.
What does he want to be?
A real boy. What he was before.
Goat, llama.
Like, you see Ronan suddenly take a moment to think. Like,
Dragon.
llama could be good.
He looks at her. Elf.
Stick.
An elf.
An elf. What kind of elf?
What kind of elf? As he sort of looks down at Zephyrin.
Shadow marked.
Shadow marked elf. And he sort of leans in. But keep the lavender.
Right. So, magic off of you, and as she points to you, Zephyrin, you feel a change begin. Did you ever read the Animorph books?
I've never read the books, but I'm like familiar with what
The art.
Yeah.
Just imagine the art. You're going through the transformation. You are still very sheepy, but you're getting back to being elfy.
Once he's able to speak common again, he's profusely thanking this woman.
Right, as I said, something for me for something for you.
Where's Winnie?
Do we have an agreement? And she holds out a hand. I find Winnie, and you do something for me.
He sort of looks down at his paw and looks at the others. Yeah.
That sounds fair to me.
And
Thank-
as you shake hands, you see this magic kind of go up each of your arms, this golden shimmer. Just binding. I think we can kill a couple birds with one stone. So,
Wait, what?
No killing.
no
birds.
kills. Well,
No.
salvage a couple stones with one sneak, shall we say?
Snakes.
Sneaks.
Sneak.
Oh, sneaks.
I
Fable
don't
would
like
like to go hug Zephyrin if Zephyrin will accept a hug.
He will hug back. 'Cause he's
Oh, yay!
just so happy to have arms.
They still have hooves at the end, but you know.
We're getting there. It's a slow transition.
So, I'm sure that you've seen the store. Maybe not, you're new here. Down on the other side of the inn, or whatever, there's a store that is manned by some things that think it is quite funny to play pranks. And I need some of my stuff back from them.
What stuff?
Well, for starters, the ingredients to actually cast the spell to send you back home. I need some ink and some chalk, but they're both very shiny. Not normal ink and chalk. I would show you an example, but they've stolen all of my ink and chalk.
Okay, we can get that.
They might have even taken the stick that Winnie's in.
They did.
They
That's where she
took
is.
Winnie. She gets she turns summer again. She's angry now.
Now, slight problem with them. They're very fast. Very, 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 very fast. And very tricky. They like playing tricks. They're very small. I hate them. I hate them a lot. So I don't know how you're going to get around to doing it. Getting everything back. But they know how to track me, so if I go over there, they'll just track me and trick me and lay traps and all that wonderful thing they're capable of. Maybe they'll think you're there to buy something, though, seeing as you're eclectic adults.
We could pretend to figure something out, pretend like we're there to buy something.
They'll try to steal from you, though, so...
They already have.
They took Winnie.
just, batten down any valuable things you have, or she kind of looks at you over, and everything is just so ill-fitting on all of you in your new giant bodies. And eyes linger sort of on weapons, kind of.
Is something wrong? And then Zephyrin looks down and kind of, probably for the first time, actually notices how, small his clothes are on him.
Well, you look ridiculous,
Yeah, we kind of do, don't we?
and you look exhausted.
A little bit. That river was rough.
Can you blame us? We've had a long... How many days has it been? 2? 3? I don't know anymore. I have antlers. Of course I'm exhausted.
It always feels like a
Freaking-
Tuesday, though, doesn't it?
The Feywild is like that.
So we go get your stuff back, and then we get Winnie back.
Right. And then we send you home, and you can leave here forever.
Okay. And Ronan looks pretty, and he literally just turns and walks out the door. He's now been given. He's so used to following orders from Rosie. It's actually very comforting to him to be told exactly what to do.
Do the rest of you follow?
Yeah, Zephyrin's gonna follow along.
Ronus still takes the stick.
You take it out of the thin air and all right, so you approach the shop. There is an entrance way off to one side, and there are no windows.
And he sort of like goes to it and sort of opens the door, doesn't knock because it's a shop, but just like pokes his head through, doesn't actually go all the way in. Hello? Hello?
There is no answer, but you can see straight back to the back wall. And there seems to be a door off to one side towards the end of the hall.
And he sort of steps in awkwardly. Hello?
Oh yes, just come on back.
You could see like the others probably see Ronan's eyes just go, oh no, like hoping it's not something he thinks it is. Like, hello.
Just come right on back.
Okay. He sounds really nervous as he sort of walks.
Glancing in, is this what we can see through the door? Is it like wide open, or are there like shelves or like
It is.
obstacles?
It is wide open. There are some mirrors on the wall.
I would like to check for tricks, traps, all that sort of thing. Investigation.
Okay,
basically.
roll it.
And you know what? I'm going to use an advantage on this one.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
thing.
With a 21, you can see that there is a pressure plate that is just outside of the door. And looking at it, you feel like if it's pressed and then released, the door is gonna shut.
Okay.
Perhaps to not let you back out.
Zephyrin is going to, get Ronan and Fable's attention and subtly, kind of point it out to them and to let them know, don't step on that.
Sort of looks down. Does that
Actually-
very obvious shuffle around it.
Actually, can I try to disarm it just to
Yeah.
be totally safe?
Yeah, roll me. You have thieves' tools. You can roll
I
with those.
do.
Okay. You think it's pretty well taken care of.
Okay. And I am going to, I guess, step further in.
Okay. You see a hallway that seems to lead directly to the back wall, and there's a door at the end.
Okay. And would my investigation check would cover this entire hallway?
You don't see
Okay.
anything else except the very strangely placed mirrors. They're also not all at one height. There's some that are very small, low down, and some that are higher up, and some that are like almost to the ceiling.
Oh, this place is going to be fun. And I guess Zephyr's gonna walk over to the other door.
Okay. As you
Fable
get to
follow.
that, as you get to that door, it swings open ahead of you and leads a short way to another wall. And you can see that it kind of hooks around probably into another hallway.
I mean, I'd say I don't trust this place, but I mean that's obvious. he's gonna peer around the corner.
Okay. It leads directly back to the front.
Check for traps again.
Okay. And everyone roll me a perception check as Zephyrin is checking for traps.
So do you want me to investigate and perception?
Mhm.
Okay. Ugh.
Alrighty.
Ronan, what do your cat eyes hear?
Not loaded. No, it's not loaded. There we go.
There you go. Okay, so you are very certain that there are no traps or tricks in this hallway, Zephyrin. Absolutely certain. And Ronan, you hear a skittering along the ceiling, but when you look up, you don't see anything except the trickle of some dust coming down.
I think his ears go back and his eyes narrow. You can see, you know, that shudder that goes down like a cat's back when you touch it wrong, and he sort of slowly gets down onto all fours. Hello? Like, as he goes again, because he doesn't want to be too rude, because he's got Rosie's voice at the back of his head.
Yes, just keep coming back. Just come back and buy your stuff.
Where is your stuff?
Just in the back.
And he sort of looks back at the others, just like, what is happening?
Nothing good.
We
I know that much.
We need to stick together.
Let's just find the stuff and get out of here.
I don't know if that's gonna be as simple as it. Like, sort of looks up at the ceiling warily.
Zephyr's going to carefully make his way down back to the front.
As you go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Never mind. I don't think I can do what I was gonna say I was gonna do.
Okay. Fable, go ahead and roll me a D100 to see what our wild magic surge is.
Everybody panic.
I've been-
69.
Nice.
All right. Okay.
Also, joke's on you. I've been panicking since we started.
LOL. It's a lifestyle. Utter panic.
Oh,
Every
it's
day.
so real. It's too real.
And that, my friends, is called anxiety.
As you take your first couple steps forward down this hallway, everybody's shoes vanish. And not in a they're invisible, but still there vanish. They are gone. Ronan, your toenails have been curiously clipped.
He freaks out. He's just like he literally falls on to sit down and starts picking up like his like paws. Like what it like as he starts like panicking.
They definitely they cut them well. You're not declawed, but it's like not feeling normal.
He's sort of like trying to scrape them along the floor a little bit, but they're not reaching. He's like, been clipped.
Zephyr just looks down at his bare feet. I don't know how they do this.
First you're a sheep, now you have bare feet.
It's better than being a sheep.
Okay, you get to the end of the hallway, and it goes into another wall.
Oh.
Just
I'm
keep
going-
coming.
I'm gonna
Just come
go-
on back.
Can I
Around
still
the
hear it above?
It now that you're in further, it doesn't seem like it's just coming from one side. This voice seems to be coming from everywhere, from every side. And you again don't really see anything, but sometimes you can hear the
Ronan now
Fables.
feels. Sorry, go on, Fable.
Oh, she's drawn her sword. That's it. For now. She's done.
Ronan is there like, we can try bluff them. Like, is sort of, well, I can't see any products here for sale. He does this weird, like, ear flop from side to side. It's like, I may as well go then. It's so obvious. Like, he's just not a good liar in general. But he's really
Roll me a
trying.
persuasion or a deception or performance.
I am awful in all of these. Hang on, sorry, what was it? Deception, performance. Or was there another one?
Or
I'm making that up.
persuasion.
Persuasion. Okay, hang on. God, they're all bad. Hang on. 6.
We have great things. We have potions for de-aging and teleportation scrolls and boots of levitation.
If we can't see you or them, then how are we going to purchase this? As he's sort of literally like looking at the walls, like pressed up against them.
Just keep coming back.
I don't think I can anymore.
Oh, it keeps
Okay.
going. I promise. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Zephyrin is turning the corner and checking for traps again.
Okay, roll me your trap check.
Hey!
You can see that in this hallway, there appears to be some goop balanced on this corner, and you can sort of see a thin wire going down into a tripwire where you feel like if you walk that direction, it will fall and goop you to the floor.
Okay, I'm going to point it out to the other two, and it looks like there are 2 hallways to the right here, or to our right. So the goop is at like the far corner.
Yep.
Okay. Zephyrin is first going to hide, and he's going to hide as he's kind of like peeking around the first corner.
Okay, roll me a stealth. Okay. You feel pretty quiet and sneaky as you peeky. And you see another hallway with another branch.
I hate this building. Check for traps again.
You're not sure.
No, I'll proceed to the next corner.
Okay. Nothing heebies your GB.
Ronan just starts marching for a bit, and if it doesn't end, then he's just gonna start attacking the walls to try and get back out.
The able will help.
Just stress him.
Attacking forward or backward? Which wall are you attacking?
Probably forwards first.
Okay. So Zephyrin, this is what you see down this hallway. And as you peek around, you see that it continues on down. Ronan, are you attacking? Which wall are you attacking?
All the walls. He's just not like, he is feeling claustrophobic right now and just wants to get out. He feels he's been tricked.
Make me either an athletics, or you can roll an unarmed strike, or you can roll an attack roll with your staff, however you're attacking.
21. I'm going road runnering it through this wall.
Okay, so that'll let you get through 2 of these walls as you barrel through. Let me destroy these walls. Dead. And dead. As you barrel through and probably see Zephyrin investigating on the other side of your barreling.
Yeah, he sort of breaks through, and Zephyr just says,
It's like the Kool-Aid man busting through the wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah! As he comes through.
Zephyr sees it, he's kind of like,
Where
what are you
is
doing?
the back? Like, 'cause he just starts getting stressed. Oh man.
And that is what you can see. Do you continue muscling through the walls?
I am just through the walls.
Okay, roll me another athletics.
As he then screams and runs towards the walls.
Can
Rolls a
Sable
10 and
assist?
Yeah, Fable can assist.
Fable's assisting.
Some antler action in there. Go ahead and roll me an athletics as well.
Okie dokie. Where did Fable's stuff go? There it is. All right, sorry. What was that? Athletics?
Okay, so with that assist, that's gonna give you enough to get through 2 more.
I mean, Ronan's just gonna keep going until he finds the back. He's on like a rage now. If a monk can rage, he
Roll me
is.
another athletics.
The most chill monk is currently raging.
I just imagine like the cat
Oh,
yowling.
I'm getting knackered.
I was like, Fable will help as long as Ronan's down for this because Fable's really angry.
Okay.
They're both just angry little
ahead and-
kids.
Roll me an athletics as well.
I'd like to roll to tantrum.
Oh my gosh.
Make an anger saving throw.
That's like my current day. Just kidding. I'd like to roll the tantrum.
So you're able to break through 2 more, and you find what appears to be the back. There is a desk that has a cash register on it, and a small blue person, kind of fairy-looking fey critter behind it. Hello, you found it. You found the back.
She's not angry at all that we
Broke a
busted
lot
up.
of walls.
Funny how that happens when you don't just have a door that leads to the store.
People like our experience.
Yeah, no, not me.
Like literally Ronan said like, like he's like squinting. You know that squint cats do as they glare. I'm that one, I'm the meme. I'm the one that sits across the table like so look at these people like
Zephyrin is still he's hanging back kind of in that last tunnel, I guess, that they busted through, and he's just kind of gonna scan, like take a look to see if he can see, like spot the stolen items or anything that looks like it might have been stolen, including
Okay.
the stick. The
Roll
winning
me
stick.
perception or investigation. Okay, so you're scanning and you don't see anything by the cash register, and you're looking and you see small footprints on the ceiling that seem to lead kind of in every direction, but a lot of them seem to head into this wall that is on the other side of you.
a wall, you say.
Yeah.
So do they all seem to just disappear into the wall? There's no one else in this room.
There's the shopkeep is in the shopkeep room, and you don't see anyone else.
Is there a door?
No.
I'm going through the wall if I can.
Which wall are you going through?
The
This
one
is-
wherever the voices are coming from, because Ronan is so done, and I'd like to use an advantage, please.
roll me a perception and then roll me your athletics.
Okay. Perception is a 12, and then athletics at advantage 20.
Okay, so the way that Zephyrin is looking is at the wall up there where the footsteps are disappearing. And you're able to burst through dramatically, and you find more walls.
And I think he does that traditional fall to his knees and starts to scream. If only Winnie were here. Like, as he's sort of like hands on the floor.
But Now that you have a deep appreciation for the structure of
There
this
is no
building,
appreciation for this structure, Ollie.
you can tell that even though this seems like the end of the hallway, the shopkeep is definitely further down to the right than the end of this hallway.
I'd like to march towards them, please.
The shopkeep?
Yes.
Okay, you do so. It is tiny.
The shopkeep or the...
The shopkeep is
Okay.
tiny. A tiny blue fey person.
And he's sort of, again, still quite wheezy. He's like... as he wipes the dust, maybe from some of the walls. Good morning.
Good morning.
We require to purchase some items.
How much money do you have?
Sees him close his eyes slowly. I have 1 gold mushroom.
Looks
It's a
at the
great
room.
mushroom. It really is. It and you look. He looks a little bit upset. He's like, it tastes really good,
You've been
and
off
I've
of it?
carried it so far.
While this
My
is
friend
happening, can Zephyrin kind of stealth his way over that last hallway that Ronan busted into, that wall at the right end,
Mhm.
and just investigate it?
Sure, roll me your investigation. It's a wall? It seems slightly different in coloration than the other walls.
I mean, I'm assuming the investigation included feeling around for any levers or
It
anything.
feels different to touch, but you don't find the thing, the MacGuffin. It just, whereas it has felt like normal wood, it feels more like plywood.
So it feels thinner than the other walls. I would like to take a page out of Ronan's book and try to smash through this.
Okay, make me an athletics.
Oh, it's so bad. No. I'm acrobatic, not athletic. Damn it.
Cartwheel through the wall.
You could also use your weapon if you want to use the hilt of your weapon.
I think he's gonna be a little frustrated after trying to hit the wall and take out his short sword and trying to smash on the wall.
Okay, roll me a strike. As you... And it just... And the whole wall just tilts in, and you see a room just full of crap. Like, some of it's coins, but there's also there's some shiny mushrooms. There are some pine cones that look like they've have tinsel on them, maybe. There's rocks that just glitter a little bit. There's people's shoes, a lot of people's shoes. There's buttons, probably about 700 buttons in this room. It's just pretty much anything shiny or glinty or somewhat valuable looking. You can tell there are some trinkets that were probably valuable in here. It's just mountains upon mountains of things, and 3 more of the small blue creatures are fluttering in almost a blur around the room, and they pause as you enter.
There are probably a lot of sticks in here, aren't there?
There are a fair few sticks.
It's gonna take so long to find the Winnie stick.
As the wall falls, the shopkeep snaps their head over and looks back at the rest of you and smiles with very sharp, pointy teeth and says, "Excuse me, I have to go see something in the back." And
There's
blurs.
more back. Like,
And blurs, disappearing from your view as it moves crazy fast away in the direction of where Zephyr's gone.
How big is this thing?
Tiny.
What are the odds? No, probably not. Then I was like, that I could cast Mage Hand fast enough to grab it.
It can move 120 feet in 6 seconds.
I'm gonna assume that those odds are very bad.
That's very fast.
That is very fast.
Fable will run after it
Okay.
at 30 feet per something.
Zephyr, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
Okay. As you are standing here in this room, the blue critters, once they look at you, you see them scan you, and then they disappear in a flurry of motion, and you feel the buttons on your coat start to pop off as though something is pulling them off of you.
But hey! And Zephyr's going to he's just going to yell to the other two, "I found the stolen stuff!"
And Ronan is very slowly, just not, his eyes don't leave where this thing was for a very long time.
The back creeping.
Yeah, but does slowly start to move towards Zephyrin. But he's tired, like he's just walking slowly.
As you reach Zephyrin, you see that all of the buttons on this beautiful coat are gone. And
I don't know if it was beautiful, but
beautiful buttons and parts of the gold trim on you, as you're, I imagine, kind of trying to get them to stop, are kind of getting picked off thread by thread.
I don't even know how to respond to this. 'Cause on the one hand, I mean,
Do we see that as well? So we've arrived and seen this.
Yeah, you arrive, and Zephyrin, I assume you're having a reaction.
yeah, he's like he's trying to swat them away, but hasn't gotten quite to the point where he feels that drawing his weapons and getting that aggressive is necessary.
So you see Zephyrin furiously swatting what seems to be air as parts of his jacket are just disappearing.
Ronan stands there, just lets out a sigh. Ears down. It's like, could we please go back to the front desk and behave like a professional and sell me what I want? Like, as Ronan is just losing his rag.
Roll me a
Can I-
perception, Ronan.
Can I see the one that is the one in charge?
It seems to have disappeared. You can roll me a perception to see if you can locate it. Ronan, where do you keep your golden mushroom?
Sorry, say that again.
Where do you keep your golden mushroom?
He keeps it in his waistcoat.
You feel it suddenly be lighter in your waistcoat.
And there's another sigh of, have you taken my mushroom? As he sort of pauses and looks at them.
There is high-pitched giggling from around you, and Fable, you are able, as you walk in and you kind of sigh and cast about the room, you see the shopkeep, just for a glimpse, the hands appear as it is barely alighted on Ronan's waistcoat and pulls out this mushroom and dashes again. You can follow the glint of this mushroom to track it.
Sweet. I would like to cast Charm Person.
Okay.
Okay, give me just a second though, because I have to say something. Okay, sorry. Okay. Fable is like trying to watch it as she says, listen here, you're small and blue, yet I've been small. Yes, like you. Be my friend. Pause and then, well, we'll be friends.
Okay. So I have to roll.
Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Please fail.
No. There is frantic giggling all around you. And do you have a bardic instrument?
Yes, I do.
You hear is it like a stringed instrument or is it like a flute?
Yeah, it's a stringed instrument. Are you about to break my instrument?
Just two of the strings. You hear
Oh.
twing twing.
Oh, that's it. Is there are piles of stuff that they feel is valuable?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna take my sword. I'm gonna whack one.
There is just a spray of glittering nonsense that goes across the room, and you hear more vaguely insane giggling. More things! As they seem to be even more excited. And
Question: amongst all this stuff, is there by chance a tennis racket?
roll me some sort of looking check.
Perception, or is this something else?
You can do perception, investigation.
I would like to roll with
Survival.
advantage, please.
Okay.
22.
Okay, yes, there seems to be a racket of sorts, probably more badminton than tennis. This is the Feywild.
I love that. Badminton's definitely Fey. Sort of picks it up, like looks it up and down, and then I'd like to just start to try swatting these things out of the air.
Okay, make me a strike roll at disadvantage.
Okie dokie. Like, hang on, let's
A
do
weapon attack.
9.
You start swatting around, but are unable to hit any of them as they're zipping around. And everybody make me another look-in check. You can use survival, investigation, or perception.
I'm just gonna get some gas or something. You know where you do the mosquitoes? Like,
Just fireball.
Can Fable intimidatingly scream stop in a persuasive manner?
You can roll either an intimidation or a persuasion if that is the question.
I would like to roll persuasion, but I would like to be angry. when
Okay.
I do it. Well,
They know
not
you're angry.
enough.
Zephyrin, with that, as you're watching all of this and swatting, and this shower of glitter goes flying, you see among that a stick with a bow on it sail across the room.
I would like to try to run and catch it.
Make me an acrobatics. That thing you're good at, so you say, until the dice come in.
Yeah, until roll 20, as it say.
Okay, you can catch it. You kind of face plant towards the end and do sort of the catcher slide, but you're able to catch this stick.
Okay. After rubbing his face, Zephyr's gonna just sit up and he's gonna go, all right, listen, we just want this stick that you stole from us and the things that you stole from the wizard. Can we just get that and we will stop destroying your store? Does that work?
Do you want to roll me a persuasion, or does diplomacy still exist?
I don't see diplomacy on here.
Okay, persuasion. There is more giggling. You're just making more mirror holes. More hallways for the next person.
Zephyr sighs.
Fable would like to scream, I will burn this place to the ground. Can I roll intimidation?
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta find intimidation. Chicken nuggets, why?
So what is something of value that each of you has lost besides buttons in this flurry of activity?
I mean, Zephyr has lost most of his coat at this point, I'm sure.
Value to us
Mhm.
or value in general?
Value or glittery.
My dignity.
Amen.
And your claws.
Oh, this is so
Rubbing
sad.
it in.
If
Well-
Vernon has nothing of value, they will just start randomly flitting by and trimming one of your whiskers shorter and shorter.
Oh, if they get too close to my whiskers, he's just gonna. Can I, like, Karate Kid just fly out of the air? Can I at least try?
You can roll an unarmed strike.
Unarmed strike. I'd like to do it with advantage, please.
Okay.
Yes!
You hit one.
Just backhand it off the side.
Roll me damage with that crit.
Oh, hang on, let me roll it.
As you just backhand one, it just explodes. And part of its corpse just splats to the ground.
He just slowly looks at it. Not really. I think the others will probably see an anger that has never been on Ronan before.
And Fable, what's something you've lost at this point?
My locket that I got from my best friend.
Oh, mushroom.
Scallon.
I'm so angry. Roar.
And as one of their brethren explodes in front of them, you hear a hiss fill the room. And we will start off next session with initiative.
Guys, I screwed up.
This
You know-
is the worst day ever.
I will be honest, I was like, my next action, I was going to start going after these things because I actually remember that he's got, like, if we're counting our treasures, I forgot about those, that he's, I've got a ring that was given to him by his dad, so they probably would have gone for that, and he was going to go into battle mode after that. So
Yeah, Fable was completely serious about burning the place down. That was not lying. Like, she was serious.
I was like, oh well, we're gonna start again. Like, oh, that's
She's a
wonderful.
volatile.
It's so hideously wonderful. Thank you, Holly. Yes, if you liked this chaos that you saw today and want to go scream into the void with us, head over to our wonderful Discord channel where you can find one purely for this game. Also, if you miss out on anything or you want to catch up, you can head over to YouTube and find the playlist for this game as well and catch up over there. Otherwise, a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Hero Forge, which you will have seen in the break, where you can see some of the little miniatures that we've made for it. It's incredibly addictive. Please go check it out. It's so much fun. Also, the wonderful Mage Hand Press. You can now pre-order Dark Matter, which is basically D&D in space. It's wonderful. I will be running games at their store at PAX this weekend every day. And last but certainly not least, the Deck of Many, where you can go check out Humblewood. And also they're really awesome moving magic cards, which they're gorgeous. You definitely need to go and check them out. Otherwise, it's been a day full of weird worms and backhanding pixies and running through walls and being sheep and losing, but keep evoking emotions, and we're gonna go find Winnie / a stick next week. Bye.
I have her. Zephyrin has her. Supposedly. But